Hello. What's up, guys? I'm gonna be making a few more posts and then we'll get started. My throat is kind of fucked again. I was just talking and then it just cracked out of nowhere, and then it hurt, and I fucking hope I'm not really sick, but fucking sucks, dude. Anyways, what is up, Lex? What is up, broski? Give me a few more moments, and I'll start demolishing your song. Dude, I had a fucking crazy experience sleeping too again. I I went to bed at 10 a.m. and then I woke up at 1 p.m. and then went to sleep at 5 p.m. and then woke up at 10. And I think I'm kind of I'm wrapping around a good sleep schedule now. I woke up at 6 something today, and then I went home and slept. But I feel I don't know, I feel like shit. Sleeping for a few hours at a time is not that great. But then again, dude, fucking Aristotle or Leonardo da Vinci, they slept a few times, dude. Do you drink tea? I love tea, bro. But I like iced tea a lot. I'm not like a hot tea drinker that much. I don't really like hot tea that much. Yeah, it's pretty bad. I do it to myself though. But nonetheless, I think we are good. Okay. Um so first on the chopping block that is going to die tonight, Vitae, warm tea and honey and lemon do throat gang. I know at the coffee shop I used to work at, they did some weird stuff that we would heat up lemonade. Like if you ever had hot lemonade, that is such an uncanny drink. I would not recommend. It feels really weird to drink, and it numbs your mouth. I don't know to describe it. It's just I don't like it. Anyways, I don't know if Vitae is here, but they're probably gonna watch the VOD, so we'll just go through it. Maybe at some point where I get enough submissions or something and I can't get through it all in one day, I'll enforce a be present for your feedback kind of policy. But yeah, let's go. Let's do this. What the fuck? Damn. Okay, I was a little caught off guard because The intro is that silly, goofy atmosphere intro again that I talk about every single stream. It seems like at least once or twice every stream I do feedback on, or like a quarter submissions, they all have the same idea where they make it like a some ambient intro, and I'm starting to hate it more and more every time I listen to it. Like nothing happens here. It's just boring. I hate. I'm gonna fucking transform. I'm gonna turn into a werewolf in a sec. Like I'm just disappointed with that. I wrote down industrial ice cream machine intro because it sounds like you just went into a back of like a McDonald's chain and just sat there and recorded the audio from its water heater or some shit. And this is where you actually put effort into it. You put like a whole, I don't know, like 10 hours of effort into this drop, probably for just a sound design or something. And they're like, oh yeah, it needs an intro. Boom, intro. On, hey manager, can I go in the back and record this audio real quick? It'll be sick from my tear out intro. Thanks, man. I like the bass sound though. It's pretty sick, pretty nasty, pretty squelchy, I guess. Yeah, squelchy. There's that tone in there that is really distinct, and I think you should emphasize it more, because you're teetering between the really white noisy tear out sound design that everybody in the world and their mother knows how to do now, and like having an actual tone that's cool sounding. You have like that tone up in the high register. It's like you probably can hear it now, but that part I like and I think should be emphasized more. I think you could probably like get an EQ or something and just like boost that range and maybe like distort it or something. But it's up to you how you want to approach that. I think when people listen to like Tear Out and Sound Design and Tear Out, they want to try and make it more tonal because white noise Tear Out really washy, you know, reverb filter, all that jazz. It's just kind of like a lazy way to do sound design now. Especially with the invention of the filter table that Kilohertz has now. That's pretty good for making like any cool bass now. Yeah, and then it kind of falls in the trap of just like filling in some rhythms. You're just spamming this bass and hoping it sounds good. There's not a clear idea or a clear rhythm here for me to follow along with. The basses kind of just do whatever they want. So it lacks cohesion, it lacks an identity, it lacks an idea. What was the thing? You said it was just like only sound design you care about. If you only care about sound design, I mean, you did a good job, I guess. But you should be focusing on anything else. Oh, no, you said you didn't say anything. Okay. Damn, 3 years. Yeah, you said sound design. Yeah, just focus on other areas more because your sound design is not the problem. It's literally everything else that is the problem. All right, so that one is pretty short. Let's go on to the next one. The next one. All right, we have Kano. Kano. Okay. Kano, are you here? Are you with us? Are you here? How'd you die? How old are you? Do something. Show a sign. I'm the Alpha Werewolf 9000. Bakatron. Kano. Oh my gosh. Okay. We listen to it again. I gotta finish my notes because I was writing something down. All right, chat. I have my notes written down finally. Took a little bit. Is it chill to submit? Yeah, you can submit any genre you want. You can submit fucking folklore if you want, dude. So I don't know how well I'd have to like give feedback on that. I don't know much about folklore. Okay, the immediate thing that I heard is like the chord progression. I just thought of like Coldplay Paradise. I know like chord progressions are chord progressions, you know, you can't like just have an original chord progression. It's fine. Okay, it's fine. But in the sense of like tear out, that kind of chord progression doesn't fit like the style you're going for at all. You want tear out to be kind of like more gritty, dark horror aesthetic in a way. You don't want it to be like a kind of chill chords. Unless you like fully commit to the idea. You're not fully committing to that chord progression. You're not like, okay, if I'm gonna have like a chill chord progression, I'm gonna go fully into it. I'm gonna capitalize on the idea. Instead, you're like, you want to have a chord progression like this, and then you're also torn because you want to be like a scary horror aesthetic. So you gotta choose if you want the cool chord progression that is like Coldplay or like tear out. So choose a side. There's a light side and dark side, man. I think music theory would help a lot in this case. If you do want to have like a more melodic take on tear out, that would be like the first thing you would have to run to. If you need help with it, I recommend looking at different scales. There's different scales that can kind of give the sense of like a horror aesthetic. Research things like the harmonic melodic scale. There's a lot of Egyptian kind of scales that work really well with tear out. Also, don't feel like you have to use chords. A lot of more horror aesthetic music doesn't even have any like proper chords. Um, Meaning like when you think of like a chord progression, you think of like major and minor chords, and those are like the most common ones you use. But in horror music, it doesn't really use major and minor chords all that often. It uses more like dissonant tones, like half steps or tritones, or even perfect sixth notes. Phrygian, yes, Phrygian's another one. That's the one I use a lot. So Phrygian, it's like it has the root note, and then immediately above with the half step is on a note in a scale, so you can alternate between those two half steps, and they'll still be in key. So just look up different scales to use. I think you're stuck on like a major or minor scale, which kind of is why it sounds like Coldplay. If you're gonna make it a Coldplay remix like this, you're already going like halfway there. All you gotta do is just add those vocals, and you'll be winning. You'll win the remix contest that will happen in 2035 or something. Yeah, you're adding like a ton of instruments with this too, so you're like kind of committing, but not all the way. Um, but it's kind of a minor thing, but you need to be really aware of what key you're writing in. Now here's another pitfall that every single person falls into apparently. I rarely see people actually fix this problem. I've been doing feedback streams a while, and if someone adds like any kind of melodic element at all in their song, like in an intro or something, they never like transition that away in the build up. It's like, dude, you have a dubstep tear out heavy drop that is basically atonal. Like you're not really using notes or music theory when you're making the drop. You're just like, this rhythm is sick. I'm gonna put this on with some drums, and it's gonna sound awesome. And it probably is awesome, but you're not transitioning at all, and you're just like repeating the same chord progression. And so you go from a chord progression in the build up that is constantly going, and then just like no progression at all in the drop, melodic wise. So ideally, when you want to transition, that is during the build up. So you have the intro right here. That's fine. And you kind of do it like you freeze the chords a little bit, make it atonal, it fades out, and then the chord just starts up again. Like it starts up for no reason. At this point, you can just have like one chord play, and that's it, and have it just repeat over the entire drop, or make it more atonal, or use a frequency shifter or something. Like you can transition it in a million different ways. But the number one thing you don't want to do is just continue the chord progression like this, because you're completely throwing off your audience. You're making them think that it's going to be like a melodic dubstep drop. Like you're not a Millennium. You're not doing a Millennium style drop. Let me look at the chat real quick. The start of the drop, I heard Jingle Bells. Yeah, I did too. Just put a Santa sleigh. That's not Coldplay, that's Hot Pause. As close enough, I guess. I don't know. Okay. Notes. So on the actual drop, which I think you want more like of my attention to. Let's see if did you have any notes? No, you do not. Okay. So it's just free reign. Your drop is really messy. It bounces a lot between volumes, which is why I wrote down inconsistent volume and inconsistent stereo. You have like basses that are completely mono, and then it goes into like full stereo, and then some of your basses are way quieter than others. Some are just like super sort of loud. I think it's also because of the stereo, because when you make something mono, the high end is kind of ducked down. So that's like a major issue with mixing. Your build up just sounds really weird. I'll get to that a bit later. Your drums are really not good. They do not hit through at all. This is very subpar mixing. Listen for a sec. I kind of hear the sidechain. So your sidechain, I think is doing its job, but your sidechain can only do so much, man. You need to just I would my basic advice, I give this a lot, just turn like a lot of things down. You want the drums to be the loudest part of the mix. It's called EDM dance music for a reason. EDM electronic dance music. Because the drums are the main thing that carry that rhythm. They're the thing that you headbang to. When you have a dubstep show like Lost Lanes or something, everyone's gonna headbang to the drums, not to the guns or anything. So your drums just need to be louder, and don't make them too loud. The loudest I would put them is like 3 decibels, unless you're doing something like creative with the mixing. But you want them to generally be louder than everything combined. You can verify that by looking at an oscilloscope and just seeing like if your drums are as loud as everything else in the mix. It's just an easy way to check. Your sidechain may still be the problem. If you still have that oscilloscope, try to make them longer, the sidechain longer, and see like if it starts getting too long or something. It's a pretty common case that you might have your sidechain too short, but most of the time it's too long. Other ways you can mess with it is if you just have some weird effects on there. I had someone that would submit quite often, and every time they would submit a song, I would ask about the drums because they put some weird effect on their drums that made it not hit at all. What they ended up doing was on their master, they put Soothe. So they would be putting Soothe on their master and like some transient processor thing on the master. And I was like, yo, what are you doing that for? Like, why are you even putting that on there? And they also put like some weird stuff on the kick. Like they put a hard saturator on their kick, and the mix was like at 50% or something. And I was like, what's that for? What's that doing? So just cleaning up your effects can go a long way as well. Easiest thing to do if you have a lot of effects, and it's in this case really noisy, try taking off all your effects one by one and adding them back. And then just, it's like a black or white issue. Is you gotta evaluate every single plugin. Is this plugin helping me at all? Is this achieving what I want to do? So for instance, like saturation. If you have saturation on a bass, you have a goal in mind, correct? And it is to make it more distorted, more crunchy, louder in most cases. So if you have saturation on there, is that saturation fulfilling what you want to do? If you have an EQ on there and it's doing like a notch filter or something, or boosting the bass, are you evaluating if you really need to add that? Do you really need to add another plugin to your mix, or do you need to just go into Serum or whatever generator you have and boost the sub that way? Do you need to add a reverb on your bass? Do you have to do that? And at what point do you not need it anymore? Do you have to have like a spectral gate thing like Soothe? Do you have to have that on there? Is that really benefiting? Is that really worth applying that effect on there and losing a bunch of CPU space when you could apply it to a different effect? Is the effect on the master, is putting an EQ on the master worth it? And does that solve the problem? Or can I put that on a specific bass or a instrument that is causing me issues? Do I have to put a limiter on this kick? Do I have to put this limiter on this snare? Yada, I could go on forever, but you need to evaluate every single plugin you have on there and have a very specific purpose for each and every plugin. You can't just slap on plugins like it's all fine and dandy, because it's going to take up more CPU, it's going to take up more power, it's going to make things harder to control. It's way easier to just mess with the volume of things. I can get a better mix down adjusting the volume of instruments than you can if you have all the effects at your disposal. I can guarantee that. If I just have volume controls, I know I can get a better mix down because I'm min-maxing. I'm using the thing that will affect my mix down the most, and that is volume. I don't need to add all these effects like Soothe to get a good mix down. Yeah, and it's just too distorted. using a lot of fidelity, a lot of tonality in this. It's just a big wall of noise. It's not much to listen to at this point. Just turn it down, chill out. You don't need to make it the loudest thing. The loudness wars are over. It's long gone. Not me just working out while listening to your feedback, waiting for mine. Oh, just you wait. I'll piss you off. I guarantee it. Oh yeah, the build up. I was gonna get on the build up. So I think I already said, don't have the chord progression in the build up unless you're making a Millennium song or something. You know, you might make it a Coldplay remix for all I know. You have a lot of instruments just in here that don't need to be in here either. You have an arpeggio going on. You have this like a bit crushed roar right here. Something like that. It would probably just do good with just that bit crush roar thing, and then like, I don't know, just a riser. Like it would be fine just like that. The whole point of having a build up is to build tension and to hype up the next part of the song, which would be the drop. So that's all you're trying to do is build tension, right? You don't need to make it any more melodic. I'm in the queue, right? I think I saw yours. Yours was the first one, but it said it was removed. I don't know if that's the old one you submitted. I'll just find you real quick. Oh. Yeah, yours is just not there. I looked at it and it said it was removed, so you'll probably have to resubmit. Alrighty. Okay, well that's all I really have for Kano. I think I'm saying it right. I'm always just skeptical if I'm pronouncing things right. Yeah, if your links are deleted, I won't be able to review it, and then it'll have to be pushed to the end of the line. So make sure that the links you send are not broken. If you catch me in time, I can just find the right link if you do have another submission ready. And you're welcome, Kano. I hope it helps you, and I hope you're able to fix those problems that I mentioned. Best of luck. Okay, next person is Surigaro. Surigaro. What if I won't be on stream but on queue? Well, fortunately, right now I am just gonna go through all the submissions, so you'll be able to look back on the VOD to see what was been said. So don't have to worry about that. You'll be fine. Yeah, if you're sending a link and it's a private song, make sure that you hit the share link that is on SoundCloud and not the URL. If you submit the URL, it will not work. So make sure you do it that way. Alrighty, okay. Surigaro, are you ready to get your song absolutely destroyed? Surigaro. Surigaro. Uh. Whoa. Fucking being. Oh my gosh. Ah! What? Ah! What the fuck? That was crazy. Oh my gosh. I feel like I was getting like fucking beat up, dude. Like someone else said. I mean, getting my head absolutely clobbered in, getting curb stomped. I love feeling that. I kind of like it. That was hard, but why is she moaning like that, dude? She was moaning in my left ear and then my right ear and my left ear. The pandemonium. Okay. Where do we even begin, man? First off, I'd like to announce that there is a volume automation happening. I see that volume automation. I see it. I see it in the waveform. Can't trick me. Can't trick me. Nuh-uh. Not on this channel. I like these like static sounds. They're like kind of cool and not just a pad or like someone recording in the back of a McDonald's. So it's kind of cool. And what I enjoy is that it kind of starts being, I don't know, like a song. I don't know. It's like musical. Has a rhythm to it. It kind of has some notes to it. It's going to high pitch to low pitch. It's getting kind of cool. Like, whoa, that's pretty awesome, man. I think the reverb is pretty pretty lazy. Like you have these reverb fade-ins that it just sounds lazy. Like, oh, I want to build tension. The reverb filter sounds like what people do when they have a showcase and they don't know how to transition songs, so they just throw reverb on it and they're like, yep, that's good. I.e. me. That's what I do. Just do away with the reverb and find another way to fill that space. Or just don't fill it. It's just not appealing. It sounds so weird. Yeah, and then that vocal, bro. Oh my gosh. Is this like a really like slow fucking happening? Someone getting fucked like really, really, really slow. Because you had a guy moan and he went like, oh, and then you have a girl moan. It's like two fucking buildings fucking. Alright, man. Is that when they climax? I would like this more if the drums were more pronounced and it was less like distorted. It's also really mono. And when something's mono, I kind of don't like. It sounds like it's a ripped recording from somewhere because that's usually what happens. So you only have it in mono. The moaning is so funny, yeah. Bro. Why? Why do you do this to me? It's like the epitome of like the noise wall tear that I was talking about, dude. It's just like this crazy freaking noise, and then to top it off, it's like girl moaning that's like insane. It's so mid-heavy, so distorted. It's a little unpleasant if you would just turn it down or like just something. It's just have some space. I need some space. Also, you dude, stop doing the reverb thing. Please, I beg. No more reverb. Thank you. Okay, it's not much for me to even say here. It's just a cool idea, experimental. I think execution was good for the most part. Yeah, so let's just move on. Burn, burn, burn. Hold on, I'm going to delete some responses. Okay, and then we have Jocks. And they only want feedback on song structure. I want to develop this style further, but I doubt the song structure is still relevant nowadays. Well, let's find out. Jocks. Oh, this is public. I want feedback on a public song. Well, buildings.
In the game, we should have passed the MD 0% top of the check, can't recognize my name. And the kid camera that I'm going insane. Back in the stew, piling by two, breaking the rules and the fuck about you. Too much tattoo, now in the crew, still I'm the most to give fuck about you. Gonna drop down like a tropical dance. Don't give no fuck. And get down. Bobby, you get hit from.
Actually like this pretty nice.
Top of the check, can't recognize my name. And the kid camera that I'm going insane. Back in the stew, piling by two, breaking the rules and the fuck about you. Too much tattoo, now in the crew, still I'm the most to give fuck about you.
Damn, bro. Okay. In my opinion, this is kind of subjective, but I think the second drop was way better and more appealing. It sounded way cooler and original. You should lead with your strongest drop, because as soon as someone hears the first drop and it's not as good, or it's not like super amazing, they're gonna skip it if they are really critical about music. I do that a lot. A lot of times I won't even judge the second drop immediately, because I just judge the song off the first drop, and it's unfortunate because you kind of got used to doing that. A lot of music back like a decade ago, it would just be like a copy and paste of the first drop. So all you had to do was just listen to the first drop and you kind of knew the rest of the song. But now the field's kind of changed, where there's a second drop and it's sometimes significantly different. Like in this case, I think it's significantly different. And sometimes when it's different like this, it can be better or it can be worse. In this case, I thought it was better. So you should just swap the two drops here. The second, or actually it wouldn't even be the second drop. This is the second drop. So the third drop, the last drop, should be the first drop. The one at the very end. I think you should lead with your best drop always, your more interesting one. Someone else already said it, but I thought the same thing. There wasn't much interesting going on here. It sounds like good tear out, yeah. It's good for like if you were gonna play a show and you just wanted to have some songs out. It sounds good. Don't get me wrong. But if you want to get the attention of like bigger artists and bigger labels, you have to try hard on this. I think at some point when you become big enough, you can get away with making music like this, because you already broke the ground. You already got your foot in the door, and you just entered whatever room you're in. You're beyond that point, and you kind of can just get away with that. But the reason I'm being harsh on that is if you're like a small artist, like you are yourself, and even for me in some cases, you have to make the best you possibly can and leave their impression. It's like making a show reel or a resume or like a portfolio, basically. Every single song that you release out there will be your portfolio. It is the public song that people can really see. If you send like an email to a promoter or to a venue, this is what they're going to hear. This is most likely we're going to send them and say, hey, I have this song and I have this many followers. I'd like to play at your venue. You need to lead with your strongest work always. And until you reach that point where you can be playing shows consistently, I would not stop like the quality. I wouldn't say this is enough, this will be fine, because you don't have that luxury yet. My only main like real critique on this, the mixing was pretty solid. I liked it quite a lot. It seemed pretty high and heavy, however. The tonal balance, it's a very, very simple fix. All you gotta do is just like boost the lows a bit more and turn on the highs, because the highs were kind of over blaring everything. Too bright of a mix. Like especially your snare right there. Your snare is too bright and it's a little harsh. The other thing was, I mean, he didn't even ask for mixing advice, but there it is. For song structure stuff, you need to tease the drop a little bit, because the impression right here is it's just like a rap song, basically. You can just add the bass in there at some point and just fade it in slowly. You can just do something like that and you're done. Like you have a good setup, you have a good flow going on. It'll just sound good. Your audience will be like, oh shoot, here comes a tear out drop, and they'll get more hype Like, it's how you build hype. Other than that, I don't see any other issues. Honestly, you did a good job with this. But that's just my advice. Alrighty, moving on. Oh yeah, as well, I forgot to mention, patrons will get priority in the feedback stream. So if you're a patron, I will be doing your submission first, and then for public submissions, I'll be doing yours afterwards. Thank you, thank you. I love swearing too much. Okay, we're on Lex. Lex has been here the entire time, waiting patiently. Is that a guy singing or like a violin? Oh. It's a violin. Damn. What do you have in store for me? Oh. Damn, bro. Okay, I get it. Okay, I get it. All right, Lex, you gotta be honest with me, man. Is this a sample loop? Is that a sample loop? You gotta be honest. I gotta know. I gotta know. I gotta know, Lex. Is that a sample loop? Come on, we're in the confession booth. Come on, it's okay. Is it like a what part is the loop? Is it the like the fucking singing violin thing? Is that the loop? What's the what's the sample to contact ratio on this? I musteth knoweth. Well, I mean, regardless of what you answer, I like this a lot, and it is very, very sick. And since you added instruments to it as well, it just adds a lot to it. The vocals, piano, and violins. That's kind of what I thought. It's really hard to get violins to sound like that with Kontakt, because Kontakt is sheesh. But you did a really good job with that. I thoroughly enjoy this part. I do like that a lot. It sounds cool. You need to be careful. You can barely notice, but there's some clipping in here. That's not good, because it sounds like a very obvious mistake. You can hear it in the high end. It sounds really scratchy. You do not, yeah, you don't want to have that at all. Okay, another thing too. This is very obviously a horn sample, and I can tell because there's like a point where there's no high end. It just sounds like it's being pitched up and down, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. But if you have a way to fix it, you should try and fix it. If you want to know an easy way to fix it and give it a high end again, get a multi-band effect on it and just distort the high end, like the very high end. If you can distort the high end, it'll add those like harmonics back. It's probably mostly going to be noisy, but it's better than having like a brick wall just pitched down, right? It won't, at least it won't sound as like a sample at that point. To some degree. Also, dang bro, can you turn your kick down? Your kick is so loud, and it's very dry. You don't need to be that loud. It sounds like the same kick from the drop. All I gotta do is just like turn down the velocity on this one or the volume or whatever. I'm assuming it's probably in audio. Just turn it down. It'll be easy. Yeah, that's the thing too. You have your fucking dry ass kick followed with the wettest snare known to mankind. There's so much reverb on the snare, and you can't even hear the transient. Like, just let it be dry. It's fine. You only have to have one of them. You can't have a dry ass kick and then a wet ass snare. You gotta choose. You gotta have both a wet snare and wet kick, or a dry snare and dry kick. You can't have both. And that riser is kind of too loud. Just turn that down. Maybe add some other risers too, and you can add multiple. It'll be fine. It's okay. You can talk to me. Ooh, okay. Yeah, the Murata layers kick. Yep. Yeah, and it's just 2 mono here. Is it? Oh, shit. That sounds. I did use the laser part. It's kind of cool hearing it though, because it's like a very niche kick. Well, it sounds good. Now your wet ass snare again. Yeah, the drums sound great here. The only problem is that your bass sounds thin as fuck. You should try adding some more pitch bend to it. Like just have it be enveloped down with the pitch bend on the sub, and that'll fix most of your problem. At least make it sound more thick, I guess. You could also just saturate your sub if you wanted to a little bit, but you'll need to have a little bit of ingenuity to mix it in, because most of your sounds have been really clean, except for that wet ass snare. This part's sick as fuck too. Yeah, but I really enjoyed that, Lex. Good job. Sick. Okay. All right, on to the next submission. Dusties. Otherwise known as Alex. You guys ever watch I can't remember the show. Madagascar or something? Madagascar? I don't know the movie called. I feel like a nerd now. Keeping it, but a lot of the inspiration came from you. Appreciate the tips, dude. Thank you kindly. You're welcome, Lex. Go out there and change the world for the better with your dubstep, okay? Oh, wait. Is this? Oh, it is. Yeah, I'm not going to give feedback on that part because there's nothing to give feedback on. Okay, so I remember this one. I remember this song because I made a short from it. Your snare is too loud still, but thankfully, at least from what I can hear, your kick isn't as loud as I remember it. So your kick sounds better, and you actually use a metal snare. Now here's the thing, okay? I've discovered this too. It's really hard to make metal sound good when you don't have like actual instruments with it. So you're so reliant on like free drums basically and really crappy libraries from Contact. For the longest time, I used the Travis Barker drums for my metal stuff, but it sucks. It sucks because on one thing, right? The way they record acoustic drums to begin with, they typically position mics like inside the kick or in front of the kick to get the transient, and they also do overhead mics as well. And they're all combined into one. They're like phase shifted, so they all align perfectly or whatever. And it's really difficult and annoying because even just the sound of the room can completely throw off how it sounds in the mix. Say like you have a drum kit and someone records all of it. The benefit of having Contact Library is because they record all those elements like a snare, hi-hat, kick in the same exact room. So the room is going to sound the same on all of those drums. But if you were to use a Travis Barker drum kit or like an online drum kit, the kick is going to be recorded in a different room. The snare is going to be recorded in a different room. They're all going to be recorded differently. The overhead mics are going to be at different distances. So you're going to have a different room capture just entirely, a different balance entirely. There's so many different problems with that. And I got so frustrated with dealing with that. I said, screw this. And that's why I made those metal drums on Serum and a patch or two. I just like made an Instagram post saying, hey, yeah, I made these things. Didn't really expect it to blow up the way it did. But I've been doing that for a while, making my own drums. And I have full control over that because I can choose what room I want it to be. I use Convolver for the drums, so that's what I use for like the overhead drum mic sound. And I can just have them all be in the same room, the same pitch, the same loudness, everything. And I can just instantly apply it. And boom, I have nice sounding drums that sound really thick. I can control the transient, I can control the tonality of it, like I can do everything with it. That's an answer for the. Oh yeah, wait. Let me read what you're saying. The outro is lame. Yeah, figuring out where to go with it. Do you have any packs you can recommend for metal drums? Packs recommend. I wouldn't recommend any packs. They are so limiting. I've gone through a lot of packs with drums and kicks and all that, and the samples are relatively good, but you're never gonna be having dynamic control or having the same room sound. The best thing you can do for metal drums is having a library, sadly. So it's either have really garbage drums or get a Contact library where it's all neatly there and you have velocity controls and they're all, I just gave the whole spiel about it. I guess you could try the ones I made in Serum. I put those out for free on Patreon. I don't know how well they would work. You probably would have to replace the reverb. The reverb was like the worst sound in the Serum drums I made. Where's Discord? You can find it on my link tree. Cool, I'll definitely look into that. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's hard. Eventually I want to make a drum kit on a Faceplant and then pitch it to Kilohearts. I want to say, hey Kilohearts, check this out. I made acoustic sounding drums with your plugin. You should sponsor me and like release an official pack or something. I hope I can get to that point. I'm actually still making all of them right now. There's a lot of Contact libraries for drums. Even a lot of metal bands are releasing their own libraries. Yeah, I know. You can't find it? Is it not on my link tree? Should be right here. Yeah, it should be this. I'll just put in chat for you. I lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah, this is why I don't like Kontakt, because they cost so much. They are so expensive. I was looking at Superior Drummer, like $500 for just one drum kit. So you only get like one kick, one snare, one hi-hat, you know. $500 for that. And then you have other libraries that cost even more, and the quality is so weird. It's not worth it, man. You gotta do your best with what you got. Hello, Ravdra. I specified that I only wanted advice on mixing only, I think, to rip apart all that you like. Well, I think I was mostly giving advice on that. I think this would be a fine candidate to like open the project file and see what's really going on. I announced that on the Patreon too, that you could like send in project files and I could like fix them on stream. And if I did do that, I probably would replace samples or try to like figure out like a better drum kit for you. It does take some ear training, sadly. So if you have some more experience with drums like me, I'll just kind of know off the bat, just instinctively, what drums would probably sound better. And there's no real method to doing that. It's just, I know because I've used a lot of drums, so I can't really make it logical. But there's, like I was saying before, there's a noticeable improvement on this. I kind of wish that you had more that you did. It seems like you only changed a few things in this, which is, it's not bad, but like I only have so much to give feedback on from last time. So yeah, if you already are a patron, I'll arrange some way for you to send a project file and we can do a stream Saturday, and I'll just like show you how to do everything. Yeah. Yes, if you're that tier, you'll be able to send your project file. I'm kind of excited doing that because that seems more fun to me anyways. Just like opening someone's project file and just like making it sound better. All right, and next up we have Domatics. I need to delete that entry. Okay, Domatics, are you here? You want feedback on mixing, mastering, and song structure. Producing for 4 to 5 years. And you want mix fullness and advice on song structure repetitiveness. I've got you, bro. Oh, right, okay. Yeah, wait, I remember your name. What time Saturday? Yeah, it'll be the same time Saturday. If I get submissions, I'll need to figure something out. I proposed that plan last week. The thing is, I don't want people just sending like any file. I want to be able to verify that it's like a safe file and not like a Trojan or something. So I'll need to like figure exactly how. So for next week, if I get at least one, then I'll stream. So it's 5 p.m. EST, Eastern Standard Time. So it may be different for you if you live in a different time zone. Okay. Domatics. Oh. Oh shit, Rave? Damn. Oh my gosh. Okay. I love that acid sound. The acid sound is so sick. You wanted mostly points or feedback on the mixing and song switcher and everything. So it kind of does come to sound design a lot of the time, with dubstep specifically, because like your bass is the main instrument in your drop. So that's like the first thing you would need to fix your sound design. The reason why it sounds so thin and kind of lackluster in the mix is because there's like no mids in it. Your mids are essential into getting a very thick mix down. If you're having a lot of instruments playing around it as well, those can take away from your bass too. So if you have hi-hats that are way too high end, they're too noisy, and your bass is also really noisy like this one, you're gonna have your hi-hats and bass fighting. You could have those hi-hats take part of the mids if you wanted. Some hi-hats do have like mid texture to it, but you have all these instruments fighting at the same exact spot, and then you have all the space in the mids that are just free. You could have another bass playing, you could have a screech playing, you could have just a growl bass playing a lower tone. Yeah, like there's like no mids at all here. That does come down as your sound design. Now, you also said to prevent repetitiveness. If you had some mids, it would be way easier to prevent repetitiveness because you could change the tone much easier. You can only change the tone in the high end so much before like it becomes like just another sounding, like the same sounding noise at that point. Like you're just changing the timbre of the noise just slightly. Whereas if you had mids in the mix present, you could just change the tone or change the note. You could have a literal sine wave be playing and have it distorted against the sub, and then be able to change it easily. which you are not. Yeah, and your sub is just too loud. Your sub is taking up so much space. And it's not, you're not getting anything from it. It just sounds really muddy. You're like trying to compensate for all the mids that aren't there. I like this flow a lot over here though. That's it. I don't have much else to say about this. It's just those main issues. I would give more advice on like sound design stuff, but it really just does come down to having more mids. And so, like, most of your problems we fixed. This song is sick. I love it. It just needs those changes for me to fully enjoy it. Yeah, I'm gonna move on from that one. Okay. Vacon. You are up next. Snart. VCon. Okay. Oh gosh. Ah. Oh gosh. Okay. I gotta know like what your inspiration is because you're very true. Sorry. Oh my gosh. I'm getting silly. You're very clearly trying to do something uh with your weird music theory, and you have really abrasive tones, but it sounds like you're trying to do something with it. It sounds like you have you have an idea there, but your execution is just wrong. But it sounds different. I could kind of hear it was microtonal. I thought for a moment it was like you got like Harmor or something, and you pan like the left, you pan the left channel like 50 cents down, and the right one 50 cents up or something. But it didn't sound like there were any stereo or something happening. Say 13911 on C. Okay. Microtonal stuff is really difficult. You said how long you're producing for? 6 years. Okay. Do you know a lot of music theory? Because microtonal stuff is very difficult, and you need to be really good at understanding why melodies work the way they do before you get into microtonal stuff. I've tried microtonal stuff before, and it is very hard, and a lot of times it doesn't sound good. It's also really bright, so I think that can be easily fixed. 12 tet. Okay. Is it like a how many notes per octave are you trying to go for? Because it sounds like it's definitely more than like it's more than standard chromatic scale. 6 but unevenly tuned. So it's not exactly microtonal then. Microtonal, when you say microtonal, it's like dividing um the existing scale. So like you would get 24 notes per octave kind of thing. And then each of those would be divided like how you would with a minor or major scale. So you just take out the notes that aren't in key. So you would end up with like a handful of notes from those 24 notes that would be usable in that key. Um, there's some asking if you are like versed in music theories because it's a lot based around math. Music theory is like mathematical based. Yeah, it'd be Zen harmonic then. It's not microtonal. It sounds kind of microtonal. Um, okay, so the best way you need to approach this is like look up literal like papers if people have made some or other music people have made for hexatonal stuff. See what they do that sounds good. They make those choices because this is literally uncharted territory. I followed one person on YouTube that does like microtonal stuff, and they're like pioneering that stuff currently, and no one else knows how to do it or why stuff sounds good. And it's all math based too. So you got to think really hard about this. Is it too much effort? Yes, it is too much effort. If you're a newer producer, this is something that a very experienced producer or musician would get into because they're bored with jazz or something crazy. Like imagine if Jacob Collier, the like best musician in the world, basically, if he was like, I'm bored with jazz. This sucks. I want something harder. Then he would go into microtonal stuff. Like that is the next step from jazz is microtonal music because it's based off of math. It's like you're dividing stuff mathematically and you have to make sense of it somehow. And it's only possible with computers. Pianos are already huge enough as is, and they had to like literally invent new instruments to make microtonal music. So it is uncharted. It's only been a thing for like the past 10 years, and it's in baby steps. There's no mainstream microtonal music. So honestly, I would say don't even bother getting into this. You have so much other stuff to learn that would be useful for you and would like be better long term than this. Um, this is a cool thing though. I like that you are at least in the scope of like learning this stuff and you're interested in this stuff. It's very cool because I want to I that's like an eventual goal. I want to get into microtonal stuff and like try to make something cool, you know. It'd be just be fun to try and do it. Um you just need to learn other things though. There's so much other things to learn that are more concrete and more structured, easier to understand than this. Like you would be wasting time trying to understand microtonal music at this point if you don't know a lot of music theory. Like you need to get way better at music theory and like making like standard songs than getting into this. It's a good attempt though. I kind of saw the vision. So if we're gonna go on like more basic feedback, your mixing was like the worst mixing in a while. There's a few reasons why it's that way. Your microtonal stuff, just by naturality, it's going to sound unpleasant to the ears, especially in the high end. We're so used to the harmonic series in the high end that if you deviate and you're using freaking hex tones, dude, like sixth steps, like which is the most unpleasant interval in like the chromatic scale. If you're using 6 notes, it's gonna sound pretty horrible in the high end. So I mean, you just need to turn down the high end of the main chords, like here, because it does not sound pleasant to your ears in the high end. So just get like a low pass, a very minor low pass, and cut down the high end a bit. At some point, get like a laser. It was somewhere, but you know what I'm talking about. There's like a laser in there that was too loud, and it was also unpleasant. What else? Oh yeah, the snare's too loud. Like way too loud. Just turn it down 4 decibels. If you're gonna make music like this, you're better off just making it really quiet to begin with. You don't need to make it loud. You're not making a dubstep song, so there's no reason to make it that loud. You're okay. And I said the melody doesn't make any sense, and that it makes sense now because you're trying to do like hex tonal stuff. So that's fine. My final thoughts are just like focus on learning other things. There are other things that can get you further in music and understanding things than trying to tackle this really extreme issue. It's like being a second year at college trying to understand neuroscience. It's like you need to understand like other fundamentals first and things that like pave the road to understanding neuroscience. You know, you're not just gonna you're not gonna tackle unsolved math questions when you are in high school, dude. It's that kind of thing. But like I said, I appreciate you trying to try something new. I don't get a lot of people who submit stuff like this, so it's pretty fun. Okay, someone says something. I don't know how I found you, but you are hilarious and helpful, which made me doom scroll your shorts. Anyways, looking forward to enjoying your next stream here. Well, thank you, Infinity. I sometimes feel like I'm too mean, but I mean, I have to be mean because there's so much yes manning happening in the EDM scene. Yes, dude, this is such a sick song. You are gonna hit the scene running. You're gonna be booking out every single show, and you're gonna be doing amazing. And then you're getting their hopes up, and they think they're gonna do so well, and they think they don't need to improve. They don't think they actually need to like work towards it, and then they fail. So yeah, I don't like that, and I want to be honest. Because I've been yes manned for 4 years in my first like time producing music, and I thought it was the shit, dude. I thought I was so good at music, and then no one else could touch me, and I was kind of egotistical. And then I realized I wasn't all that shit. Yeah. Anyways, okay, let's move on. That's from Vecon. I think there's one more Patreon submission. Okay. So this will be the last Patreon submission, and then the rest will be the public ones. And all you asked for is mixing and mastering, and your only note was, is it good though? I don't know, you tell me, dude. Is it good? Are you confident? And you're welcome, Vacon. Send more shit. Oh gosh. Damn it, I can't put my notes down early enough. Oh, these less than 1 minute songs. I'm trying to write shit down, dude. Okay. Man, someone really likes BitSpeak, I guess. I think it's BitSpeak. It's just for shows. Like shows like bragging rights, or like a literal show you're playing. Because that would be a different story. I mean, the build-up is good, I guess? You're using way too much distortion just in your sound design alone, because I hear that bass for clip shows. Okay, that makes sense, I guess. The sub bass is like too distorted. It's just like intentionally messy. That tone, I can tell it's like in a generator, and you're doing some cool stuff with like a peak filter, and like it's getting distorted and all that. So that's cool, but when you're trying to alternate between notes and make it sound like more interesting, more fresh, when you pitch it down, it kind of loses that tone and then skips like a whole step, and it sounds like it's in a major key or something. So I would just render it out, like render out a one shot of it, and then pitch it down manually, like one semitone. And that would sound way better than just having it through a generator. Oh yeah, and your sidechain's triggering too early here. I can hear it. It's like a very slight amount of silence that's before the kick and snare. So I mean, yeah, it sounds good. It just sounds also really distorted, overblown. I know you only wanted really just like mixing advice on this, but turn things down. Generally, your bass just has a lot of saturation built into it, so turn that down and probably have a cleaner mix. I'm not a fan of having like low harmonics in the sub bass, because those make it sound like an unintentional distortion. I can tell when it's unintentional distortion because the way the harmonics are set out. If you have a sine wave and it's distorted, the harmonics will always be at about the same level and like the same decay rate, like 6 decibels per an octave or something. Like it'll be the same rate. But if your sub is louder or something, just ever so slightly, like a decibel, then it'll sound better and it'll sound less like a mistake. But yeah, that's all I really have for feedback on this. So a lot of loud sounds, and that tone can just be rendered out. But I mean, it's like 50-second clip, so there's not so much to go off of. But thank you for submitting. All right, gamers, who is ready? This is the public submissions. So grab your boots, grab your coats. We're going out. We're going fishing. You're welcome, man. All right. Late Eyes. Where are public submissions at? They are on the Patreon. If you become a member for free, you can submit there. And it should be in my description as well. There should be a link to it. If you become a paid member, though, you are able to skip a line. So just now, I went through all the Patreon submissions. Oh. Oh. Okay, man. Damn, sounds solid. Nice. That's probably the best part right here. I like this part the most. Okay, so the mix was actually really clean. I was not expecting the mix to be this clean. Like, you have no business making that clean, dude. I thought you're supposed to make it really distorted for no reason. Like, every single person does that. Why can't you do that? I'm just kidding, but the bass writing is pretty dang good. The vocals though are really cheesy, and it sounds like one of those vocals you would get like when you first install a DAW. You know, everybody has gone through the vocals in their DAW that are like pre-installed, right? And it sounds usually like that, like really kind of cringe. Um, but I mean, the way he's in them, it's fine. Like, it's not the best, and it sounds a little cringe, but it's fine, man. But what you can do is not have them be just completely dry. Like, add some effects on there, something, reverb, compress them, pitch them down. You know, just have like it layered with like a lower pitched version of it. Or there's like so many other things you can do. It just needs some kind of processing. It's too dry, and that's for your own creative freedom to decide. The basses were swag. I kind of like the panned growl shits from like left to right. If you could make them wetter, that'd be better because they're really dry in my left and right ear, and it would just sound better if it was wetter, you know, because it's clearly supposed to be adding a like an atmosphere to left and right, add some space, but it's completely dry, and it kind of doesn't work there. I mean, remember music with bone dry vocals? I love the term bone dry vocals. It's bone dry. I like stuff wet, bro. Okay, yeah. The other thing too. Having sub falls like that are just, they don't sound good to me. I avoid using sub falls a lot. The reason being is because especially when they have harmonics on it, it just sounds really low effort. A lot of people do it. It's in like almost every song. You can just have like a straight tone and it would sound just as good. You could probably just like render a bass out and put a ton of reverb on it and just cut it off when the snare hits. And it sounds better. I like the 909 here. So another important thing here is your bass your song is very sub focused. You have a very strong sub bass happening here. But it just sounds like a distorted sine wave at this point. You have like a sine wave, has some soft saturation in it, and that's it. There's like nothing unique about that sub bass. What I recommend is whatever generator you're using, instead of just distorting a sine wave, instead like get a oh my gosh, just get your oscillator and just boost up some odd harmonics and control like the phase of each of them and the loudness of each individual point, and you'll get probably a cooler result that sounds more unique and not just like a saturated sine wave. But yeah, that's all I really have for this one. Very solid song. Very groovy. Yeah, that's a bit. All right, who's next? Actually, before I move on to the next one, I'm gonna get a drink and I'm gonna turn the heat down because I'm sweating. So I'll be back. beep, beep. Bing, bing. Bing, bing. Oh, okay. I am back. Easy. You guys like my BRB graphic? I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world. Okay. That's all the feedback I had for that one. So I'm gonna delete that one. Surgeon. Surgeon. They want everything but sound design. They've been producing for 11 to 12 years. Dang, that's more than I have. I think I'm just about like 10 years in. Alrighty. Okay, I like this part. Space. Okay. It's a really good song. It's well mixed for the most part. Dude, the biggest issue I have is the sound design, but like, want an opinion on that. The sound so sure it's too repetitive. It's quarter notes. Quarter notes, that's all I need to say. You have like 2 bars worth of fills happening, and then it just goes into quarter notes. You're having too many fills happen at once. The listener can't like stay with the rhythm of the tune. It's just like it's like they're giving something cool and then you yank it away from the last second when they can dance to it or enjoy it. Remember, you're making EDM. The whole point of you making music to begin with is for people to dance to it, and you want it to be danceable for the most part. Not saying take away your creative freedom at all. You can make whatever genre you want, but if you're having a fill like constantly happen to the drop, you're not letting people be able to dance to it or headbang. You want to let them like kind of get into it, you know. So let the chronos ring out more if you want that to be like the headbanging part of it. The fills are absolutely insane. It feels like I'm getting jumped, but I kind of like it. The fills, it sounds like I've heard the sound a million times before. In my opinion, it's the same kind of sound design strategy. You just like get a granulizer and you just use warp modes and call it a day. It's like you grab the main bass, put in a granulizer, and then said, yeah, it's good. And then you did nothing else to it. And those can be fine. But when your fill's taking up this much space in your drop, and you are literally interrupting the audience dancing to your song with a fill every like 2 bars, yeah, I'm gonna have a problem with it, and it's gonna repeat too much. That's the biggest issue there. I complimented your second drop because it just sounds cool for one. And you have the same issue here too. It sounds cooler in my opinion. It sounds better, more unique than what you had over on the other first drop. But you have the same issue where it's just constantly going into a fill. You're not letting the audience just like sit and enjoy what you made. You have to have a fine balance between having repetition and having like freshness, irregularity, and in this instance right now, you just have it changing too much. So it's okay to let it ring out more. It's fine. You don't need to flex with your granular fills. It's not really filling any purpose. You're not building any tension with that. If you were to talk to me right now, like what purpose does having a fill every 2 bars serve? And you wouldn't have any idea. So just let it ring out, man. It feels kind of like it's trying to impress EDM artists and not an EDM audience. I think it's okay to impress an EDM artist, but that shouldn't be like your sole priority. Like your sole priority is to make music be listenable or to make what you want to make. But but at the end of the day, you want people to listen to your song. I really hate when people say, I'm making music for myself. Like, no, you aren't. You're not making music for yourself. You're lying to people, dude. You are posting on social media with your music and sharing it and trying to promote it. You are not making music for yourself. If you're making music for yourself, you wouldn't post fucking anything on social media. You are just a liar. So I hate when people say they make music for themselves or they're trying to start their own genre or something. You're not. If you're trying to like pioneer something, you're announcing that you're pioneering a genre. You're not the pioneer, dude. You're just doing it for attention and clicks. And that's not even what this guy's doing. I just think he's trying to use fills too much, and he's like paranoid of like being too repetitive. I would say don't worry about being too repetitive. The rhythm scene literally fucking exists. So if people like repetitive, I can't breathe. If people like repetitives like that, then you'll be fine. You can let it ring out for 4 bars. In my experience, I think like 4 to 8 bars is like the max ring out and repeat. Like then people will get bored of it. But I mean, that's just my experience. But that's all I have to say about that. Good sound design though. You have some cool sound design. I just wish you didn't use bias that much because it feels like you're using it as a crutch. It's like in every single bass you have. Okay, next up we have Dallas. Oh, okay. Nice remove track. Yeah, remember to not copy the URL of a private song because it won't work. Awkward. 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 You guys think I'm just being awkward, but actually it's awkward that's being awkward, not me being awkward. Awkward, I just saw you in here, bitch. Get out of here. I mean, get in here. It's your time. Awkward. Motherfucker, I know you're in here. Of course, it's Jersey Club. I like your use of the vocals. Damn. Oh, fuck. Bring it back? Guys, should I bring it back? Oh, fuck. Damn. Damn, bro. Like this part needs like another instrument just like playing a counter melody. Like have a little flute go something like that. But it's sick. I like it. You know, it's like a flute going onto the next bar or whatever. Good mixing. This part's such the fucking flex. I would take out that sub fall or just make it like way quieter because it's distorting the mix and it just sounds really out of place. Also, the pitch up here, I feel like you can make it more interesting than just like a regular pitch bend. And then you just go into like the fucking grooviest shit ever, bro. Like what? Sample Agony doing a flute impression, throw that into Serum Noise Oscillator. Yep, do that. Fuck. That's just good. The only thing I could think of doing here is just like adding more stuff. Like just add more layers. But it's hard to not overdo it, you know? The drum program is really good. The kick, I would not think to do that. The kick is programmed really well. It's playing a really good rhythm. It doesn't like take away from the main rhythm at all, the main like basses at all. It complements the hi-hats really well. Like it's everything's just flowing together really nicely. It's great. Yeah, I just have a pet piece of sub drops, I think, because that's fine. That one's fine though. Okay, so this is the bass I was thinking about. You kind of have that bass go wah, 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 wah. You can mess with it more. You should have a more aggressive like low pass being modulated, like a very tight envelope, opening up a low pass. With I would say like a tight Q, so like a 48 per octave right decibel per octave curve or whatever. It's kind of emphasize that there's like a movement going on. There is movement there. It's just not enough for me to enjoy it. I'll be like like a duck. Okay, a really easy way to add some more space and just send it to the next level. Have the vocal pan from left to right. It is free stereo space to take up there. It's for free. So just pan it left to right, just alternating, and trust me, it'll just make a huge difference. And you can like mix in some reverb on there too. Just smack some reverb. You have a lot to play with here if you just like spend a little bit more time just adding stuff and fleshing out new ideas, or not really new ideas, I guess, but like just new additions to the sound, I guess. Can go really far. I don't have that much feedback. I think I just gave most of it. Yeah, I appreciate it not being clipped to shit again. It's like a reoccurring problem is people clipping their song to shit. It's so hard to give feedback on poorly mixed things like that. First hit center, then echo pans. Yes. So like the first hit would be centered with like reverb, just a little bit of stereo, I guess. And then since it's like repeating like a delay, have it from left to right, like a ping pong effect. Do you think that's due to clip to zero gaining popularity? Clip to zero? What even is that? Is that like a thing people do? I thought it was always just like people turning up their master because they want their song louder and they think loud equals good. Is clip to zero something? Oh wait, oh my gosh, I'm stupid. I know what you mean. Like clipping to zero LUFS, yeah. I feel like it's like people artificially bringing up the loudness wars. Yeah, I had I have a friend. Awkward knows who I'm talking about. I have a friend who is like, yeah, I gotta get my song to net to plus 3 LUFS because Sudden Death did it. Sudden Death made a song positive 3 LUFS, so I gotta hit that. And it's just like a meme now, but like people unironically base their masters off of that. Like, oh my gosh, how loud can I get this? Because another artist made it that loud. Now I gotta get it that loud. It's like, no, you don't, man. Yeah, trust me, they can just turn your song up. You don't need to do all that. You don't need to sacrifice. If you really want to make a really loud song, just have no sub. Boom, you'll have a really loud song. Will it sound good? No. So don't complain about it not sounding good. Hella sex. I just name dropped sudden death. So I can't remember which sudden death song it was. It's a specific one that you like had that was like positive something less. Don't get me wrong, it's nice to have your song as loud as it can be, but you're just like straight up doing it only for loudness. I like this submission from Extract. There's a part where I asked how many years you've been producing, and he literally put damn like 5-7 years. You didn't need to write all that, man. Damn, like I don't know, man. Like fuck, like 5-7 years or some shit. I don't know. Feeling like I'm the worst producer ever. Fake shit. Man, this guy is just full of funny today. Smoked the goon weed. Extract? Computer noise. Is that a Discord profile picture? What does that even say? What am I even looking at? Oh my gosh. No fucking way. I'm in shock. Okay, let's focus on the dubstep part. The intro, let's just say it's perfect, guys. It's a weed intro. Weed. I'm just gonna say it. That's Extract on the vocals right there. We all know it. That's him singing. Okay, you have two sustained basses going on. I guess one is just like the sub, but like the main one, it's like tonal. It just doesn't sound good. It sounds like a different instrument, and also it sounds like it's playing a different note. And there's like no movement either. It's just playing like just a straight tone. It's just like, hey, I'm here. It would sound better if it was playing like a staccato. Like instead of going, it would sound better just like, just put some reverb, gate that reverb, something cool like that. You don't need to recreate this awesome sound that you just made. I'm not fucking with the sound design that much. There's not a lot to work with on this. It's just like the same bass playing. It's not changing that much. I mean, the rhythm is good, the melody makes sense, it's okay. It's literally just the sound design that bothers me. It just sounds very off. Yeah, the sound design is just like the worst part, and there's nothing else to even like comment on this. I already said like the big parts of it that I don't like and how to fix it. The sidechain is also just not strong at all. Like, yeah, the main bass or tone or whatever, it's just drowning the drums completely. Okay, we'll just move on from this one. But good submission nonetheless. Very, very awesome. Weed. Wow, guys, I love weed. Do you have a specific problem, Dallas? How the fuck do I mix? Close your eyes and start moving some faders up and down. That'll probably help you get somewhere. Neo dubstep. Ah! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Oh! Holy! Okay. Fuck! I should have turned it down. I should have known. I should have known with how loud this was already. It's at half volume now. Oh my gosh, dude. Oh my goodness. Okay. Dude. Holy fuck. What's up? People like making ear-piercing sounds. Okay, the first thing. Let's talk about it. Your kick is already just so distorted here for no reason. There's no reason for it to be distorted like this. And you're not like adding saturation to it and turning it down. It's clipping in the master, dude. Like there's no reason for that. Why? Also, this melody, I do not like it. It's pretty bad. It goes. Also, like it doesn't make any sense. Like. Okay. Yeah, and you can just hear like how insane the sidechain is, right? Like it sounds like the sidechain is triggered over like a whole half second. Dude, you can't even hear anything. I know exactly what you're doing. You're using just regular compression sidechain. Spoiler alert, that's the worst way to sidechain your drums, especially in EDM. You're not making fucking dad rock music, man. Like, oh my gosh. I can tell also because it's not ducking all the way. It's only ducking like 30, negative 30 decibels or something. Which is usually how compression sidechain works when you have a little compressor. And it'll also just be that long because compression sidechain is so awesome that instead of like seeing the transient and then triggering off the transient, it just sees the whole kick and is like, all right, I'm ducking for the entire duration of the kick. So you have like zero like control over your sidechain. You're just forced to have the sidechain be that long. So instead of doing it the garbage way and using sidechain compression with like a little compressor, use a like actual ducking tool. Like use Shaperbox. Just you could use automation too. That would also be just so much better than this. And the only problem is that you have to input it manually, but I mean it's better than this, dude. You have to deal with it. You could do some MIDI sidechain. You could put in MIDI notes that tell like when a like LFO tool or whatever thing needs a sidechain. You can do that too. But for the love of all is holy, dude, don't use a compressor for sidechain. Man, I just woke up because here's still 6 a.m. and saw you were live stream. Sad. Yeah, I mean, I try to make it like the best for time zones, but it doesn't seem to be helping. Oh, that's the other thing too. You have triplet snares playing and then dotted kicks. Make that make sense. They're gonna be overlapping and it's gonna make a jumbled mess of a rhythm. So have it either be triplets or dotted. Don't do both. Okay? And your like melodic stabs just come out of nowhere again. And it just sounds even worse because the kick is already distorting everything as is. And then if you have like another instrument, it's gonna clip it down to shit. There's just a low Reese playing that's just sitting there doing nothing, adding no tension or anything. You have no risers that I can hear. Instead, you just have the insanely fucking loud kick just play louder and louder and faster. And then the already clipping melodic staff is just clipping even more. Oh, jeez. Now this part would be cool. If the drop wasn't like hurting my ears. This sounds like some Beast Boy shit. Like it sounds like you were directly inspired by Beast Boy to make this song, but the execution is just completely different and it's hurting my ears. Like, dude. Oh, it's just too much distortion on that gun, man. It's so loud. It's also the worst kind of gun too because it's just noise. Like when people complain about Tear Out being a wall of noise with no like character or anything, that's what they're talking about. It's just white noise with a like a sub bass on it. If you don't want to sound like this, bring the sub bass back at the start, or just don't distort it that much because it's hurting my fucking ears. Or you could add like a fade into the white noise, like just some attack, and that'll keep it from like piercing my literal ears. Or you could like do a different sound altogether that doesn't have to be a gun. You can make it more melodic. You can make it like just a growl or something. You can make it just not hurt my ears. Honestly, that's a good start, is to make it not hurt my ears. Sorry. Oh, geez. I'd be scared for my submissions or joking. And that melody right here makes sense. But it just gets drowned out to shit because your drums are clipping. Here's the same Reese bass. Yeah, why does everybody like just clip their song to shit? Like, stop, dude. It is actually a detriment to you when you submit me a really badly clipped song like this, because I can't even tell it's like what's going on most of the time. It just sounds like distorted mess, like a wall of noise. So I can't even properly assess what's wrong with your mix in the first place because it's just so loud. Just stop doing that. Just turn it down before you submit, or turn it down and get in the habit of it being turned down before you do anything else. It's such a bad way of like approaching a mix, and it's also just making it hard for people to help you like learn what you're doing wrong in the first place. Ay ay ay. Okay, next we have Ghost MIDI. Ghost MIDI. Virtual Garden. See the waveform. That's good to hear, I guess. I think. I don't know. What is this? Oh. Okay, this is kind of vibey. My goat. Bro, I love your track. Pandemonium is my fave. You're my fave, dude. You're my fave. Okay, well, we had probably the closest thing we had to like a actual ambient submission. It was pretty good. My favorite part was when the drums came in. Surprise, surprise, I guess. So there's this main melody that's going on right here that's with like some keys, like electric piano or something. Just introduce that earlier on because it's such a nice riff that you're playing, and it can serve a purpose earlier in the intro instead of just like people talking that are reverbed. I get the effect you're going for. You want it to be like a dreamy landscape or something, but the people talking it's too loud and distracting, and it's just not doing it for me. It's not making the song any more like feelsy. It just feels like a conversation with reverb and like delay on it. I feel like you're gonna have vocals like this in an intro. They need to have more of a purpose. I'm not saying like you should make a like someone sing, but rather like a clip of someone talking and they say like keywords or something that fit in the vibe that you're going for. I don't know, like Cyberpunk, like the scene where the hologram lady is like talking to the main character and it's like, you look lonely. You could have more keywords like that have more purpose and more of a story, and like reverb that out and delay it. Do some cool effects, granulator stuff, whatever to it, ear candy shiz. But you could also have this in the background if you want to seem like an audience, but don't make it the foreground. It should be the background. You want the pad to be in the foreground because it's ambient music. You want like the ambient melodic part to stand out more. So do something like that. I think that would be the better choice here. I think the drums are just nice. I think it's really easy to make like an amen break kind of sound, and there's no like shame in using an amen break, but it would sound better if you had like a different break just entirely, one that you can stretch out more, hopefully a break that's already pretty slow so it doesn't sound like it's being stretched, but something like that. Overall, just it's nice. I mean, it's ambient, so there's not much to comment on for that. It's a niche community of people who want like to feel vibey. I listen to ambient music when I'm like sleeping because I don't know, I just like it. It's like music to sleep to, bro. It's cool. But I enjoy this one. I would probably sleep to this one. I'd fall asleep to this one. Top 10 sleeping songs ever. Oh my gosh, wait. Dude, I just got a flashback. Just got a flashback of a song. Let's go to YouTube. You guys gotta see this song. Oh fuck. Wait, let me do full screen. It's 10 minutes. Hey poopers. making poop music to finally making music. Making a music video. My toilet is begging me to stop. Oh my gosh. The comments are amazing. I'm sure the composer had a hard time composing it. Okay, what's the fucking music video? What the fuck? What is this? What is this? What is he saying? Bro, it's like music you would hear from Star Wars. Like, what are they saying? What the fuck? Oh my gosh. That's insane. That was awesome though, at the same time. It's gonna be stuck in my head. Scoopy loopy doopy joopy. Shabalabadi bopidabadi bro. Scoopy. Oh, it's another submission by Late Eyes. And Zac Efron. I mean... Zvtron. Zvtron. This is a big vibe. That was a long song though. Fuck, is this a Harry Potter like monologue? Be 50 quid. Okay, I'm gonna skip around. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of just boring. Listen, when you make this kind of music, it's inevitable that it's going to be boring to some degree, but it doesn't mean that it has to be boring. Like, you can make it interesting. You're just playing the same progressions over and over again. It's nice texture. You have some cool like chords. The vibes are big, but when it repeats for 5 minutes and 32 seconds, it's too much, and it's like, okay, can we move on? Like, this is a skippable song. If I heard it for a certain amount of time, I would just skip to the next song. There's nothing appealing to this, nothing like catchy going on. It's just boring. It needs more texture. It needs more just attention in general. It sounds like the song was made in like 3 hours. Honestly, you just like got together a drum rhythm, drum pattern. You slap some vocals on it and then made a chord, just a chord go like 1-5-3 or 1-5-6-4 chord progression or something. It doesn't deviate at all. It doesn't do anything different. The only part it like actually got different was like right here. And then surprise, surprise, you use the same like dotted rhythm to just bleed into the next drop. So it's just, yeah, it is what it is. Doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with it though. This is just like acceptable. I would be like, yeah, that's a song. But I would not remember it. I would not care to remember it. I'm just gonna forget about it. How does it make you feel that I'm gonna forget that your song even exists in like 3 days? And you probably worked on this a bit longer than 3 hours, like in actuality, like reality. So it doesn't feel good knowing that your song's not gonna be remembered at all. So make it memorable and do something about it. Anyways, that's it for that one. We are in our last 2 submissions, and we will call it a night. Oh my gosh, Minik? I think that's how it says his name. Minik, okay. Only wants mastering feedback, so I don't feel like I can get it loud enough compared to other shit I listen to. Oh boy, did we not just talk about this earlier? Guys, you ever be talking about sudden death? Wow, what the hell is this? What is this website, dude? It's cool, I guess. Dude, stop caring about how loud other people's songs are. Like, it's a war you're not gonna win. What are you gonna do if someone makes an even louder song, but it sounds like shit? Are you gonna are you gonna make it sound like shit and make it sound loud, or are you gonna be like, oh well, that sounds too bad? Like I'm gonna stick to it being quiet. Like it's not a big deal, dude. Finna be a treat from Minik. I know he won. I think it was second place on my remix competition. So I think you probably are the submission after this one. Let me check. If you, yeah, you are the last one. So be prepared. Oh fuck, that kind of startled me. Oh shit. It was also just playing louder than the soundcore music I was playing. Oh boy. Damn, bro. Okay, well, you only wanted advice on like the mastering, so I'm just gonna give that. The immediate thing you can do is just add more background elements. That'll just naturally bring the loudness of your song up. If you bring a crash cymbal that plays on your kick and your kick clap, that's just like basically white noise that's wide. That'll fill up a lot of space and make the song instantly louder. This is a very dry mix, so whatever song you're comparing to in your head that's like louder, keep that in mind that your song is very dry. And it might be okay like that. I actually quite enjoy it being dry, actually. So just, I would say keep it as is. Your mixing is good here, your mastering is good here. I thoroughly enjoyed the song, so I don't have much to say about it. You had some points where like static was too loud, but that's like such a minuscule problem. But yeah, I enjoyed that. It was good. And also, don't fucking worry about what people say about loudness. It's a war you're never gonna win. And it's also like completely subjective and also destructive. All right, LSD, are you ready to get destroyed? Oh, drum and bass? Okay, well that was some cool drum and bass. Um, only, I mean, there's a lot of issues with this, but the main one that I hear a lot is your over reliance on this pluck sound. I don't know what you would even call this instrument, like a glockenspiel or something. But you're using it too often. It's good as an instrument piece, but you can transition away from it and have a different more dry drum bass ish instrument come in. Like you have a really dry sound here with no reverb or anything. Just transition away from that reverb thing. Just like go to another instrument. Like make it a saw wave, a plucky saw wave with a filter. Something screechy might even do that. Like you're just using it too much. It's a cool melody. I think you could probably add some chords to it too, like some backing harmonics, something like that. Just some layering. There's also like a low quality riser is here. Yeah, right here. That you can literally just hear it. You can hear the quality of it just like there. Also, yeah, the drums fading in like a volume fader. Do not do that. It sounds super amateur when you fade in your drums like that. Think of like how a drum works in real life, okay? So a drummer hits a drum head. They hit it lightly. Does it sound the same as if they were hit it really hard? No, it wouldn't. It would sound completely different. It's not just changing the volume, it's completely changing the tone of it. So when you just artificially lower the volume of the drum, that sounds like it should be way louder. It sounds really amateur and like you didn't really put any care into it. The proper way that a lot of people do it when they want to like mix in a drum is they just use the low pass and they open up the filter over time. So just like a low pass it and have the low pass go from a low frequency to a high frequency over time, and then it'll sound more natural. Also, the drums are just being completely abused. All the synths are getting up on the drums and fucking it right now. It's so quiet compared to everything else. Your snare just sounds wrong. It just sounds like a bad snare sample. You should find another snare that sounds better. It sounds like the snare's hitting twice. You like the transient part, and then the white noise in the snare sounds like it's another transient for some reason. It sounds really weird. Your main bass here is too noisy and doesn't have enough distinctive a tone. You have this foghorn bass that immediately precedes it. It's a very distinct tone. It's very loud in the mids. It cuts to the mix really well. It's super dry. It does not mix well with the first bass. So the sound design on that needs to be changed. Kind of stuff that you don't have that many samples to work with. Like, you don't have a lot of instruments to use. Like, you're literally being held back by your equipment or something. Like, this sound here, that like plucky kind of like eighth note sound, is way better. No, it's not eighth, it's like triplet or something. But it sounds way better because it's like a contrast. It adds some dryness to it, which the roller bass after, or the foghorn is after that. Okay, well, it's kind of obvious that a lot of these things are held back by like the samples you use and whatnot. You just gotta find like a better pack for a lot of the drums. I mean, I would be harsh if it was like a glaring issue, but it seems to me like you're just being held back by like samples and stuff. It's obviously not like a good song. There's a lot to work on, but there's nothing egregious happening. You're not fucking overblowing the mix down of the song. You're not making a really harsh sound. It's just like a standard like okay song, but like kind of like a novice made it. It just doesn't sound like that upsetting. I don't know. It's like bland, sure. Is the sound design not as good? Sure. But there's nothing that wrong. You'll make mistakes like that though. You'll get some bad advice from someone and then learn very quickly. Anyways, okay, I think that's about it for that song that I gave submission or feedback to. But yeah, we guys enjoyed the stream, and yeah, I'll be doing these weekly, and every single time it'll be about 5 p.m. Wednesday. I'll just do free submissions. What do you rate that for 1 month of trying this genre? How long have you been producing for? Because I feel like that is the better metric to gauge here. I'm also assuming that you're trying to do jump up, and jump up is like probably my least favorite genre of drum and bass. Total 2 years on beats. Okay, so if you're making beats, that's just like a handicap because beats is very low production skill. And you don't really learn that much. You're not forced to learn sound design. You're not forced to learn mixing. You're just kind of throwing things together. I'd say it's like pretty good, but you did choose like the easiest drum and bass genre to make, which is jump up. So it's like if I'm rating out of 10, I would say like a 5. Like in total, not just like in drum and bass. Like it's a 5 out of total. All right, well, I'm gonna wrap this up. So yeah, thank you guys for coming. And I hope you guys enjoyed the feedback I gave and learned something. So, yar. I'll see you guys Saturday, because since my Saturday streams are being held publicly. So I'm gonna be going through people's submissions on project files. So if you want to see me like tear apart someone's project file in real time and make fun of like them putting OTT on the master or something, tune in Saturday 5 p.m. EST. Anyways, thank you guys. Take care.